Hey everyone, my name is Yonci. Welcome to my channel, Chasing Yonci. Really excited to be back here today. If you guys are watching on the replay, I go live every Sunday night at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is 8 o'clock Eastern. Very happy to have everyone. And when you get in and get settled, please be sure to drop your city and state so that I can shout you out. So today is going to be quite interesting. We're going to be talking about the common mistakes that women make in bed. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know, if you were not aware, that I have a book. It is called First Date 101, and it is a man's guide to dating a man. I got the feedback from the men in my group. I have over 1,000 men, and I asked them what they would give as advice for the first date, the do's and don'ts according to guys. So make sure you snag that if you haven't done so already. You can get that on my website, Chasing Yonci, and you can click the shop button. All right, so we are going to get into it today. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It might not be the full hour, so make sure you guys take notes from the jump. But I asked my group members the common things that they had issues with in bed. I also reached out to my followers on Instagram. And so you guys, I always say, this is not coming from me directly. This is coming directly out of the horse's mouths. So don't come for me if you don't like this stuff. This is the truth and it'll set you free. All right, don't forget to drop your city and state so I can shout you guys out in the comments. All right, we are going to get started. And I have some people who said they might join in. I'm not sure, but we will see as we go along. All right, so one of the first things that guys commented on, which is probably a no-brainer, was the hygiene, okay? So I don't know about any other ladies, but if there is an odor, I would imagine that people can tell. And if you don't know, maybe you have a trusted friend that you could check, but it is always best to be fresh. There have been so many guys who have shared their stories about being traumatized because a woman had an unpleasant odor, and as awkward as it is, it's even more awkward if you're with the guy. So make sure you keep it nice and fresh. You definitely want to get a lot of air because you don't want moisture trapped. I mean, I don't really think I have to go into too much detail, but you want to keep it fresh down there. Hey, we got love from LBC. Very nice, very nice. And I got to give a shout out. That is Akira. She is in my Sunshine Club, and she smashed out this September challenge. I almost said the Sunshine Challenge. We had a challenge for miles walked in the month of September, and she and I were neck and neck at some points. At some point, she was super duper in the lead. And she ended up killing it. What did you end up getting, Akira? I think it was definitely over 200. I want to say it was like 210 miles that she ended up walking, but she entered into beast mode, and I had no chance of winning. The last day alone, she put in 20 miles. So shout out to her. You guys can drop some clap emojis. She is awesome, and we are off to a running start in the month of October. October, it is whoever can have the most days where they reach their goals. Like I do Fitbit, but everybody has some kind of a monitor, and when you reach all your goals, you can post up for that day. Anyway, so that's the Sunshine Club. You guys want help losing weight, get in shape, or creating healthy habits, that is the place to go. I also have a link below for that. All right, we got South Carolina. Hey, very nice, very nice. You guys are started like super duper on time today, so thanks. She said, oh, 201, not 0.58. Yes. 201.58 miles. Very nice, very nice. All right, so the first one we got into is poor hygiene. Oh, and by the way, you guys, don't forget, please smash that like button. I know you just forgot, but you do have to click away from the chat and then come back in. That way YouTube knows, push this out to more people. Okay, so the first one being poor hygiene. The second one is being inhibited. Now, I know for women, it's hard for women to even have pleasure to the highest degree possible if you are inhibited. So as best as possible, try to be uninhibited. And this is going to lead to another point that I'm going to get into. But a lot of the stuff that is stopping the woman is in her own head, and it's not something that even the guy is bothered by or concerned with. And I do want to say this. I actually meant to say this disclaimer at the very beginning because I do have some younger viewers. When you are having sex with somebody, you should never, ever, ever have it to attract a man or to keep a man. Because any guy who genuinely likes you will never pressure you to have intimacy outside of just you wanting to have it. It should be a mutual thing. It should always be consensual. and it should be something for both of your enjoyment. So I have to say that for the younger viewers who are watching. And I really work hard to teach people about self-love so that you don't ever feel pressure. You should never feel pressured to be with someone physically. And a lot of things aren't even possible as far as enjoyment if you're doing it for a reason other than you're enjoying being there. All right. So that's just my disclaimer. Okay. So being inhibited was a huge one. I've got my list, guys. So I'll be looking down. They said if a woman is scared to try new things or just straight up unwilling, like, I'm not going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And again, if you are having casual encounters, I would imagine that would be awkward for some stuff, which is why I'm a big advocate for waiting, or at least waiting until you are in a relationship, because it's literally the most intimate thing that you can do with another human being. Shout out to Leslie. Hey, Sai. Nice to have you guys here. All right, so we have so far, let's see. We've got poor hygiene, of course, number one. Being inhibited, being scared or unwilling to try something. Someone else mentioned only wanting to be intimate in bed. So part of sex, obviously the sex itself is fun, but part of it is the excitement and the unknown and all that jazz. And so if it is just so routine, so, I was going to say boring, then it's boring. So one of the things you can do to spice things up is not be limited to just the bed. So a lot of times, especially if you're in a relationship, he doesn't want to know what's coming next. You know, keep it exciting, keep it popping. All right, this one came up a ton. Don't be mute. One guy straight said no audio. That's an issue when there's no audio. So guys are very big on ego, and they want to know they're doing a good job. Now, I would never advocate for you to gas somebody up fictitiously and just try to make it feel good when you're not enjoying it. But if he is doing a good job, definitely let him know. And I think that in our minds, a lot of times we're thinking about being ladylike perhaps, or not wanting to be a certain way. But there's a reason why they say he wants her to be a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. So he is not judging you if you are having a good time. It's actually something he really enjoys, to know that he is the one responsible for that good time. So don't worry about trying to be neat and tidy and quiet and ladylike. That is not the time, and that is not the place. All right. The next one, and this one is huge. I have had lengthy discussions, specifically on pleasing a man. I try to be tasteful for you too, but you know, when you are serving him, okay, not being passionate. And they were saying just in general, when you're just not passionate, nobody wants to feel like they're just with the blow-up doll, you know, like you could actually be with the blow-up doll. So have some passion, get into it, be energetic and things like that. One of the biggest things, it's not just the technique. Like, you could go and learn a technique on pleasing him, if you know what I mean, orally. But I would say, based on what guys were saying, it's almost 50% technique and 50% enthusiasm. One guy was saying, you know, you need to be passionate, like this is a job that you love, not like it's the last 15 minutes of your shift and you're about to clock out. We should be able to see how much you're having fun. So just allow yourself to be in the moment and really let yourself go. I love this. Just Amateur Music said, guy approved so far. I always say on Instagram, I love a male cosign, because I can say this all I want as a woman, but unless I have that male cosign, it really doesn't hold a lot of weight with the women, even though I got it from men. It's always good to see that. Hey, Doug. Hey, thank you for joining in. All right, so we are moving on. I don't have them numbered, but I think I'm on like number 5. Speaking of pleasing him, if she is unwilling to give oral sex, okay, that is a huge turnoff to a lot of guys. Now, there are some men that have been polled that said they're not super into oral sex. Then if you're not into it and he's not, great, match made in heaven. I do have a theory, though, that I wonder if the guys who say they're not into it have that mindset because they have not had a great experience. But there are people who said it's not a big deal. It's not high up on the list. I am not going to read Anthony's comment. You guys can read the comment in the chat if you would like to. I'm not reading that. Thank you, Ike. Thank you for the cosign. I appreciate that. Okay. But seriously, I cannot stress enough. It's the eagerness, like Like if you're, you know, about to get into, you know, a piece of fried chicken or a rib that you try to, I don't want to say tear off the bone, that sounds violent, but you know what I'm saying. There should be an eagerness to it. And that really, really adds to it. And if the more he sees that you're into it and you're allowing yourself to be excited, it makes him enjoy it that much more. It's really hard to be like super, you know, PG on this. Okay, Chavez is saying oral is not a deal breaker. Yes, like I mentioned, there are some guys who it's not at the top of their list. There are other guys who that is like the biggest thing and it's a big deal and it's really important to them. He said passion makes it way, 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 way better. Yes, that is probably one of the things that I saw most consistently with the comments that came in. All right, so this next one is her state of wetness. So essentially, if she is too dry, that is uncomfortable, and obviously we're all grown here. They said if you know that you're not as lubricated as you need to be, just take care of that, you know, ahead of time. There are products, there are things that you can do, but that is very, very difficult to deal with. I would imagine it would be kind of like trying to get into a pair of leather pants if your legs were wet from getting out of the shower. It's just not a fun time. Each person should be excited about bringing pleasure to their partner. Yes, it should be a generous thing. And that's a perfect segue to, unfortunately, I hate this, but a lot of times men have the impression that the woman is more passive when it comes to generosity, like in and out of the bedroom. And so she's expecting him to do all this stuff and she's not putting in a lot of work. Well, this goes with the bedroom as well. A lot of guys feel like they are pulling out all the tricks, all the stops, and she's just being lifeless. If you guys saw the meme that I posted on Instagram, it was a little chicken with the little legs in the air, and it's like, okay, I did my job. No, you're not blowing his mind doing that. Again, I'm not reading that comment, Anthony. Someone said coconut is the best lubricant. Oh, okay. So I can't read that name, it's too far away. Amani, I think it says, if you aren't excited, why are you even there? I don't necessarily think that a woman being dry is always a sign that she's not excited. There are some women who have difficulty just self-lubricating. So I don't think it's necessarily that. But yes, if you don't want to be there, then you shouldn't be there, definitely. Okay, let's see. Oh, coconut oil. Okay. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Okay, perfect. All right, so for those of you coming in just now, I'm going to quickly go through this. We have poor hygiene, which was huge, bad odor. Being inhibited, you're scared or unwilling to try anything. You only want to be intimate in bed, just very, you know, cookie cutter. You are super, super quiet. You don't give a lot of feedback verbally or otherwise. You're not passionate. You're not energetic or enthusiastic when you're pleasing your man. If you are unwilling to give oral sex or you're dry. All right, so the next one is you're too loose. All right, so that one wasn't said a ton, but that is something that guys have agreed upon. And, you know, the only thing I've heard of is Kegels. So do those Kegels. Otherwise, I mean, I guess you have what you have, but look into that, okay? I'm not here for the remedies. I'm just here for the feedback of what the guy said. Let's see. Women are like a TV dinner. You have to warm them up to enjoy. All right. The next thing is no emotion, which kind of goes in there with the enthusiasm. Like get into it. You know, whatever you have to do to get into it, but just don't hold back. If you're shy, if you're nervous, like you need to do that self-work to figure out why you are having a hard time, you know, being energetic with your partner and showing passion. You know, you should not be shy. You should not be awkward. If that's the case, then you need to do work outside of the bedroom with and without your partner. But you should be able to let loose and be your freest self in that intimate moment because it requires that. The other one is pretty funny, but I'm sure it's true. No stamina. Having no stamina is really frustrating. You know, women don't want a 1 minute man. Guys, too, don't want a woman who, you know, knees are giving out. She's getting winded. She's getting tired. So ladies, if that's not motivation to get in shape, I don't know what is, but you want to get that stamina up. Free plug for the Sunshine Club. If you want to come work out with us, we will help you on a regular basis, have some accountability. Yes, learn how to use them, a great benefit. Let's see. Okay, yes, that's actually on the list, but I will skip to that because somebody said it. Just Amateur Music said, what about if she never takes the lead? She needs to take the lead sometimes. Yes, that is a huge one. And this was actually one of my tips on how to connect with your man emotionally, is to let him know he's wanted. Like, a guy wants to feel like a piece of meat, you know, every now and then too. He wants to feel like he at least has the option of saying no, although he's probably not going to. But he wants to feel wanted. Even if he has a strong sexual appetite and he's always asking for it, it is an ego boost. And I cannot stress enough, men have very delicate egos. This is not a dig. This is just facts. So make him feel good. Let him know he was incredible. You know, even outside the bed, like, man, last night was amazing. You know, talk dirty to him, whatever you need to do. He wants to feel like, you know, he's satisfying mama. So do what you need to do. Quick request, if you have not smashed that like button yet, please go ahead and smash it. It is the way that YouTube knows that you guys are enjoying this content, and they will then push it out to more people. It's kind of like them standing next to an auditorium and listening for clapping and applause, all right? So does nothing for me, but it lets the algorithms know the more you comment, the more you engage. It says, oh, okay, she's actually doing something people like. So I appreciate that. I see the likes going up. If you guys could smash that, that would be great. All right, the next one is not being coordinated. I think I just had a few people say that. It wasn't a huge trend. But I would imagine if you're not coordinated, it could be a little bit awkward. Let's see. AK3 says, I'm a firm believer that those things during the day gets her going. You get, in return, the energy you transfer to your partner. Nice. Men that need validation ain't doing it right. I disagree with that. You guys comment on here if you enjoy having your woman let you know verbally that she's enjoying you and that you're doing an amazing job, or that she had a flashback the next day, a little aftershock earthquake. I'm gonna look at the comments on my phone so that I don't have to keep looking down. So let's see if I can, there we go. It's a lot easier to look at it here. But let me know in the comments, guys, if you enjoy, you know, being gassed up a little bit. Who doesn't like a compliment? I don't necessarily think it's an insecurity. I think it's just a human nature. All right, I think I've written all the comments. Okay, so Chastity says, I'm shy and awkward just as a person. You're going to have to work through that, hunty, because it's about your partner, and your partner is going to want you to be loose and free. All right, let's see. So Ike says, I do enjoy knowing she's enjoying it. If not, tell me that I'm missing it. Turner says, yes, tell me verbally. Communication is key. Hey, Natasha, welcome. Just Amateur Music said, I do my job. That doesn't mean I don't want compliments. Here. I had a boss who would never compliment me. He would only give me negative feedback. And then on occasion, I'd hear from somebody else, and I'm like, can you just tell me I'm doing a great job? Like, I mean, for real. Sex is about communication on both sides, and in a way, both feel comfortable. Sex is about being free, stress-free, and pleased in a way that suits your partner. Akira says, if he's feeling good, he'll know it. Good job. Yes, let him know. The next one is not being flexible. So y'all, you need to do some stretches, you know, do your thing. And that one is a literal. I know we talked earlier about being inhibited and scared to try things, or just unwilling to try things. But this is literally being flexible. So try to work on your flexibility, okay? This is important, that we stay limber and are able to do all the things. All right, the next one is not being too delicate. Now, I laugh at this one because, you know, some people were talking about they want to be able to, I'm trying to sound ladylike saying this. They want a woman who could take it like a champ, basically. But playing devil's advocate, I mean, some people have said that it's about learning your body, but I just think that sometimes you might have an incompatibility issue as far as her anatomy. So, you know, if you're super blessed and she's super petite, that might not be her being uptight. It might be that she's actually just in pain. So I might have to have my buddy come on here because she's an intimacy expert, and she was talking about different ways that you can actually receive more even though you don't think that you can. Again, it's not my niche, so I'm not even going to try to give you advice on that. Okay, I cannot take Anthony seriously. Okay, let's see. The next one we already covered, waiting for him to initiate. Now this one was said, and I wanted to get more into detail, but they said talking too much. So it sounds like a little bit of a contradiction because they want that feedback and they want to know they're doing great and they want you to, whether it's moaning or whatnot. But I'm assuming that this comment means that she's not talking about things in a fun way. Like it's not a fun time conversation. Keep it on track, sisters. Keep it there. Okay, so this one is really important. We only have 2 left. That's why I said this one's going to be a short video today, unless you guys have questions and things like that at the end or things that you want to add. Anthony says talking too much makes it feel like I'm in a porn movie. It was so funny because I was watching something that was talking about it's so important to talk to your partner before you guys start to engage in certain things and just to get to know each other. And they were saying that you just would be surprised. Some things that you really like, your partner might not like at all. And one of the examples they gave was talking in bed. And so they said for one person, being quiet would be really weird. And for another one, it sounds like you have a sports announcer, announcing every play that's happening. So it's just important to find out what your partner likes and have that communication. Those of you who just came in, please smash that like button. You have to step outside the chat for just a second to smash it to close the chat, and then you can come right back on in. But if you could smash that, that would be great. Just Humble Me says, nope, I don't like it when women are fighting their pain. But if we only have a few positions I can to do it, that makes it boring. Again, just my thoughts. Yeah, I feel like it's just one of those unfortunate things. I don't think it's something that like a woman could watch this video and be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take it. If it hurts, it hurts. You have to communicate if he's going in too deep. That way he can adjust it to a way that's pleasurable for you both, Akira says. Thank you. All right, so this one is huge. I said this earlier that a lot of times women worry about things that only the woman is worried about and the guy is not, okay? So part of getting out of our head is this. Having insecurities about her body, all right? So for a woman to be able to enjoy herself, she has to relax. She has to be almost lost in the moment. And if you're worried about how your belly looks, if you're worried about how your cellulite is looking, if you're worried about your hair getting frizzy because it's getting steamy, if you're worried about how, you look in this position, that is the wrong thing to worry about. And most guys don't give a crap about that. Beyond not giving a crap, they don't even notice the stuff a lot of times that we might be worried about. So the more you could just get into it, especially when it comes to oral, and not trying to, again, look ladylike or look whatever, being in the moment, the energy is more important than the visual presentation a lot of times. So, I mean, look at guys. They can just go for it, don't care, how they're sounding or what they're doing, because they're like, I'm going to get pleasure. Women need to be a little bit more selfish that way as well, and stop trying to look like somebody in some movie, because you're just not going to look like that. It's just not the reality, okay? Let's see, what are you guys saying? Sometimes her own inhibitions make it painful for her. Yeah, she can't physically open up if she's too much in her head. All right, let's see. And then the last one, I saved this one for last because it is the one that the most guys said, both in my group and on Instagram, but it's laziness. Just laying there like in that meme, just lazy. You're like a dead fish, they said. More than one person referenced a dead fish. You're stiff, you're lifeless. Somebody said specifically not throwing it back. So get involved, act like you're enjoying it. Obviously, if you're enjoying it, don't worry about trying to, be ladylike, because that's not what they want. But get into it, get back. And if you need to work out, if you need to start eating better, whatever you need to do to make it better, make it better. We joke about having, Megan knees or whatever. Do what you need to do, because you know, intimacy is a really big thing, and especially, in my opinion, I think women connect really deeply through emotions, and I feel that men connect very deeply through physical. So, yeah, he said Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, he was talking about he feels like he's with the dude from Weekend at Bernie's. All right, guys, and as I said at the beginning, just in case there's someone who joined in right now who didn't see it at the beginning, ladies, please do not ever, ever, ever have sex with a man in order to attract him or to attempt to keep him. Sex should be something that is consensual between both partners. It should not be something used for persuasion. You should never feel pressured into it. You should be able to enjoy it. It should always be on your terms. And at any point, you should be able to stop. Your partner should actually want you to enjoy it. They should never want you to be uncomfortable or in pain. And as obvious as that sounds, I feel like it needs to be said. Let me know, guys, which one you feel, men, which one do you feel is the most important tip that was given? Ladies, let me know if there was anything that you were surprised by or shocked to know that is a problem for a lot of people. I love to get this information because I always say I want to be a fly on the wall when it comes to guys' discussions, because I feel like if we know each other better, then we can get along better. So I'm here to bridge the communication gap between men and women. And speaking of bridging the communication gap, I mentioned earlier I have a book. It is called First Date 101. It's a man's guide to dating a man. And guys, I have a book for you as well, Why Women Love Assholes. I just don't have the cute little artwork up here. But you guys can go to my website, chasingyonci.com, and you can click the link in my bio. I'm sorry, you used to say on Instagram. You can click the shop and you can see the information there. But there's a lot of subconscious stuff that happens with women. And it's not that they like the asshole, but they like a lot of the things that the assholes do. So if the good guys can learn these psychological tactics, they can use it for good. So go ahead and grab that, and grab apparel if you want to. All right, so we got the votes coming in. Just Amateur Music says laziness is the biggest. Yep, I would agree with what the comments coming in today said. All right, I'll let you guys, the rest of you guys, vote and tell me what your number one pet peeve is when it comes to women and making mistakes in bed. All right, guys, so this, like I said, this was a short one. This is a short one, but I hope that it makes an impact. Guys, I'm out here trying to do the Lord's work, trying to convey what you guys want. And it's funny, I'm going to just make this little comment, but it's funny because I started being more active on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. I just hit 10,000 this week. I love that platform now. But I had like 2 people make kind of trolling comments, and they were like, why should we care about what guys want and things like that? And for me, although I make a lot of content, for women, I also try to give it for men. But the thing is that I see more women who are hungry for information. I see more women who are wanting a relationship and they want to know what to do. So I feel like it's important to give information to people who are asking. And if more guys were clamoring for information, I think more content creators would make information for guys. But if you look at the self-help sections at books, if you look what's on sale online, it's more so women who are buying things. So I think all we can do is I think that's all we can do is work on ourselves and try to be better to attract what we want. Chavez, that was funny. Eric says hopefully they listen. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for now. Until next time, make sure that you tell someone that you love them.